Hello and welcome to day 11 of 5 minutes for 4 weeks, practicing Heart's Barracuda. I began playing the verse yesterday, practicing it. Didn't get very far, but basically the first two measures of the verse are the same as almost the same as the. It's even simpler than the first two measures of the chorus of the introduction. So I was able to do that no problem. And the third measure is a little bit trickier. So I was working on that. Kind of repetitive, doing that a bunch of times, but that's what needs to be done. So I have no problem doing that, and I plan on doing that again today. So enjoy. Quotation of the day: It doesn't matter how small your home is, as long as your welcome is big. That's a nice message. It's also a nice metaphor. Just it doesn't just have to be a house. It can be any resource. It doesn't matter. You know how small, how minimal things that you have are, as long as it's done with a full heart, that oftentimes is leaves a bigger impression. It's like the rabbi in my synagogue one time said something about how could someone who gives his parents a small meal get a smaller reward than someone who gives his parents a big meal. He says it's all about the presentation. If it's like, someone serves this lavish meal and says, "Here you go, old man," like that's not done with respect, versus something which is, that's what it was. It was sending. It was how can someone who makes his father work in the kitchen be given a bigger reward than someone who makes a lavish meal for his father? And then it's saying, someone who just says, "Here you go, old man." There's no respect there, versus an instance of someone who says, the armies, needs people or whatever it is. You stay here and work in the kitchen, and I'll go out to the army. So that's a very big form of respect. So it's just presentation. Okay. Let's get going. I have the song loaded. Hopefully it's still here. Yes. Make sure it's playing well. Just gonna do volume check. Yeah, that should be good. Okay, good. Get the timer going. Grab my pick. Okay. And let's get going. Let's get the timer going first. I think I said hi, Dad. Thank you for joining. If not, thank you for joining. Okay. Let's start without the music. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to try when I got to that chorus, the verse rather. I can show you what I mean when I get there. I'm also counting an extra half measure. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and 3 and a. What's the slide down? 12? Yeah. Okay. Basically, I was saying rather than going from here to that big jump, I just want to start over here and play with this finger. So it's 1 and 2. So let's try that whole verse from until that point. 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a. That's it. One and no, 1 and 2. No, 1 and 2. That's it. Alright, let's try from the top with some music. And I'm feeling much more confident also with the strumming. I'm not counting properly and I can't hear it. There we go. I'm still not counting right. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay. I need to practice it from there with the music. I haven't done that yet. One, two, and 3, and one is sus. I'll be in okay before. Oh, that's time. Okay. All right, cool. Today was good. The strumming, when I was playing in the beginning, it wasn't so hot, but I'm definitely much more confident with it now, which is cool. Because this is really just in a few days that I'm learning this in 5 minutes a day. So I'm much more confident with that strumming pattern. I played it along with that strumming pattern, with that confidence. I played it along from the beginning. Sometimes I was playing, an extra half beat in instead of coming in on 4 and I was coming in on instead of the first beat coming in the dun dun, instead of that coming in on 4 and I was coming in on the and of the 4. So 4 and and 1 by mistake. But I'm much more confident with that. Not with that, but I'm confident with the other stuff. I still have to be cognizant of coming in on the right measure for the end of those verses, for the end of those measures. The strumming I'm much better with. Played it along with the music. That was fine. The mistakes I made was the those ends of those measures, but the strumming pattern itself, I believe, was fine. Tried playing the verse along with the music. I think that was the first time I did it. I don't think I did it yesterday. Still need some work, but rather than going in from the beginning and then actually let me write this down. Rather than I would still want to practice the beginning with the music, but rather than going from the verse into from the introduction into the verse and try to play that along with the music, let's try that. Probably make a mistake tomorrow, and then when I try it again, rather than going back to the beginning, just focus on trying to play the like the very end of the introduction into the verse, just so I can hear when the verse starts, and then try playing along the verse of the music from basically just before the verse. So practice verse with music rather than starting from intro each time. The reason I'm writing this down on the live stream with you guys and taking your time is so that you can see the whole practice process, as much of it, as you can. I mentioned before, sometimes I practice little, be walking down the street practicing some drumming patterns, the rhythm patterns, just tapping my leg kind of thing. But otherwise, you're seeing all the playing, and just want you to see as much of it as you can. So any notes I write to myself, for people who are getting that inspiration, who are not so acquainted with music, I just want to see help y'all see what's going into it. I still consider myself, people ask me if I'm a musician, I say it's a hobby. I'm not that great at it. If I put a lot of effort into something, I can play it eventually. But there's a lot of people who are either like that or even not at that stage. I've been doing this live stream for almost 4 years, and I learned a lot. And for anyone interested, I want to help give you all the whatever skills I've taken away so far. So that's why I do all this behind the scenes kind of stuff. That's why I'm not afraid to make mistakes. I think I'm making the slogan for the series, FFF, live streaming mistakes since 2020, something like that. Because this is good. I didn't block it today. Because I'm I'm aware the mistakes are there. Showing the mistakes are there for a purpose. It's part of the growth process. It's not the mistakes should be celebrated. I've almost heard that, but it's that we shouldn't be afraid of them as part of the learning process. And oftentimes on day 24, I'll still have mistakes, and it's that those mistakes are still there because I'm learning the piece, and it's just I haven't learned it yet, so those mistakes are still there. If I don't continue practicing the piece, I don't plan on correcting it, but it's an artifact of the practice so far, and think about all the parts that didn't make the mistake. And if I was afraid to show any of the mistakes, you wouldn't see the parts, the 90% of the piece, whatever, that doesn't have the mistakes. And you're going to get to basically hear any of it. So that's another reason why I'm not afraid to show the mistakes. So that's that. Tomorrow is the end of the second week, halfway point. So looking forward to that. I hope to see you there, 7:40 a.m. Eastern, hopefully. A reminder that there is a link in the description section with a list of songs from which you can make requests. Wishing you all a great day, and as always, until next time and beyond, keep practicing.